There we go.
Here we go. Game number 1 underway. Countdown has begun, guys. Tarson versus Naniwa.
First map is going to be Shakura's Plateau. Second map is going to be Metalopolis. And the third map, if necessary, is going to be Tal the Rim Altar. I really sincerely hope we are going to see 3 maps.
I do too, man. I do too. And, you know, Roddy, you're the resident Protoss expert. What do you think about Shakura's Plateau for this matchup?
I think Nani is quite pleased, but we're going to figure that out. Small break and we'll be right back. First map, Shakura's Plateau. Naniwa from Poland apparently. One moment he's... Of course he's originally a Swedish player. And Tarson of course is actually representing Poland. So Nani is trolling a little bit. Xlord is doing this all the time as well. He's always saying... well actually Xlord is the opposite. He's always please don't cheer if I make a 6 pool, and he's never 6 pooling. But anyway guys, one more time. Round of applause for both of these guys.
So we do have Tarson spawning down here in the bottom right-hand corner of the screen as the red Terran player. Naniwa, of course, up in the top left as the blue Protoss. A little bit of back and forth between these guys, but always adds to the excitement.
Of course, I can only imagine that even Naniwa, he always seems so secure that even he is relatively nervous right now because there's really a lot at stake. I mean, I've been talking with him quite a bit. He really desperately wants to go to Blizzcon, and if he wants to make it to Blizzcon, if he wants to stay on that road to Blizzcon, he's going to have to win this best of 3. Yeah,
absolutely. And, you know, I'm really eager to see what he has in store for us here. We've seen a lot of different builds on Shakura's Plateau. Yesterday we saw Zaka do a really interesting all-in that didn't quite work out for him. I feel like Naniwa is more typically a big heavy hitter macro player, so I'd be surprised to see anything hyper-aggressive out of him. But, yeah, we'll see.
Exactly. I mean, we did see him, of course, cheesing Strelok, if you can consider it cheese, but most of the time one base Void Ray is slightly considered as cheese. Tarson, you never know what he's going to do. He's going for the Wall-Off, and Wall-Off was actually the reason why Naniwa went for that Void Ray push against Strelok. Nevertheless, I don't expect something similar on this map. It's not going to be that easy to warp in, even though there's a lot of space to warp in. It doesn't really make a lot of sense to do it on Shakura's. I think Tarson will definitely build a supply depot here and there as well. We still don't have a refinery, so it definitely seems like a no-gas fast expand build. Naniwa's going to try to get into this base, but that's not going to happen.
Yeah, no scout for Naniwa, so it definitely is looking like that gasless expand, like you said. Meanwhile, on Nani's side of the map, he has just thrown down that second gas. It's probably going to be so he can get out some more sentries so that he can secure an expansion of his own.
Yeah, I'm expecting from Naniwa a 1-gate expand. Certainly now when he most likely can assume that Tarson is going for a no-gas fast expand build. Otherwise, Terran is not really walling in all the time. That would kind of make no sense. So I think we're going to see Naniwa expanding relatively quick. Some maps I'd say it's better to get the Robo first. Now I'd say it's fine to go for a 1-gate expand. I mean, you do want to stay in touch, of course, with, or like stay in range of the Terran economy, because as soon as the second orbital command is up, you can ask soccer, man. It's pretty good.
So we've got Tarson throwing down the command center on that low ground. It's a little bit bold here. Naniwa not going to be able to scout it because those Marines are out, but I do worry sometimes when you put that low ground expo down if Protoss were to go for some kind of crazy bust. Obviously can't do that with just 1 gateway though.
He is straight away chrono boosting out his first Stalker though, but he's going to follow it up with a Sentry. Yesterday I pointed out on Tal the Rim, I think it was risky that Tarson went so late for his first bunker. On Shakura's Plateau that's a little different because of course we have to deal with high ground, so that means that the Marines will always get a shot off before the Stalker gets the shot off. But nevertheless I do still recommend him to get a bunker eventually. But since Naniwa is going to follow this up with a Sentry, and right now we can see he's already saving up a little bit of minerals, so he will throw down the Nexus, and indeed it is from 1 gate.
Yeah, still no gas on the Terran side of the map. He's thrown down 4 more racks, so he's just been pumping out a lot of Marines. I feel like this is maybe a little bit a little bit of a stalker poke there. He's going to have a hard time getting up that high ground though.
Yeah, that's exactly what I meant. I mean, he's going to have vision all the time. If we take a look at Nani's point of view, he won't be able to watch up the ramp, so it's quite hard. You can still get a couple of shots off, but before you know it, your shields are done. I love how Naniwa just stopped at 77. Of course, you don't want to take too much damage at your Stalker.
So Tarson's secured this expansion now. The Nexus for Naniwa just now going up. Tarson's going to be mining off of 2 bases with 2 orbitals. He's going to be making a lot of Marines. Yeah. He's probably going to be able to apply a lot of pressure here soon. What do you think?
I really think he's going to do that. Well, something we spoke about earlier in this event is that you can, as Terran, you can also just make like an insane amount of Marines, let's say 15 or 20, and then just move out. Even though you're going to see a Stalker in the middle of the map always get a couple of shots off, it's really hard to do it perfect. And if the Marines get 1 good volley off, if he turns around right now, that's exactly what I mean. The Stalker does survive though, but this can get actually really tricky for Nani. Nani's doing an excellent job. He might be able to take the first blood right there. Yes, there we go. Good job right there by Naniwa.
Yeah, and just a little bit of a dance happening here. This Stalker trying to do what harass he can, but Tarson is getting so many units out. If Naniwa stays out you know, if he stays extended like this, I feel like he's probably going to lose that Stalker, and with that he'll lose all of his map control, all of his vision, and he'll be in the dark.
Eventually Tarson is putting up that bunker though, which I don't really understand why he was bringing his Marines out in the open all along. If he didn't really have a plan of pushing, that doesn't make a lot of sense. Would have been safer to just idle on the high ground. Perhaps it's just to scare Naniwa a little bit, force him to use a Chrono Boost now and then on the gateways, make him sure that he can't just Chrono Boost his Nexus blindly all the time, but that actually seems to be what he's doing anyway, so didn't really help.
2-gate Robo down for Naniwa, so I'm trying to figure out how this is going to open up. Is he just going to get that Observer? Is he going to go straight into Colossus tech?
I think indeed. No, I don't think he's going Colossus. I think it's going to be a similar playstyle as he had against Strelok yesterday. I mean, we shouldn't forget that game got pretty much decided when he didn't see the first big drop coming from Strelok. Of course, for everyone who watched the game, if Naniwa would have had an Observer over here, he would have seen those dropships leave. That drop would have never been as effective as it is, and the rest of the game, like the upcoming 5 minutes, everything started with that one drop. So I really think Naniwa is still pretty feels pretty comfortable with his original strategy. If he just executes it a little bit better, brings out 1 or 2 additional observers on the map, then he should be fine. And I think it's still a very strong strategy, which he is of course aiming for, the charge slots and a couple of Archons, and perhaps a late transition into High Templar.
Now it looks like Tarson's committing heavily to a Bioforce here. He's got Concussive Shells completed, but only a single Marauder out, which is interesting. Stem on the way as well, +1 attack on the way for Tarson. And he's got so many racks just pumping out Marines and Marauders, and he's going to have a lot of stuff here. Right now, the supply is still favoring Protoss. Naniwa has a bunch of sentries and a few Stalkers as well. Is this something that Tarson can push into?
Well, it's not sure. I mean, of course, we're going to see a Guardian Shield being activated, which is going to be super effective. We're going to see a couple of Force Field as well. But if we take a look at Naniwa right now, he's only at 2 gates. It's going to be 3 gates now. If he wipes in 3 more units, let's say Stalks as well. Normally, you would say Zealots, but the thing is, if you actually cut off the units right here, and your Zealots will still front, the units behind the Force Field will still be able to shoot at the Zealots. So I can completely understand Nani that he's preferring Stalkers right now. And Tarson, I think, is doing the correct thing and decides not to move up.
Well, Robotics Bay down for Naniwa, so he looks like he is going to be moving into Colossus. He's got a bunch of gateways going down as well, so he's going into heavy macro mode. I feel like this is more gateways than you would get if you were planning on taking a 3rd base anytime soon.
Yeah, actually, I mean, of course, in the past, Naniwa has been quite known for his 2-base Colossi pushes, which is very strong. He's been doing it a lot in MLG. And, well, once again, Naniwa is extremely good in this matchup. His timings are insane. Tarson should probably be aware of that, though. I wonder right now, we do have that 1 stop with reactors already, which Naniwa is not aware of. He's sticking to that 1 observer, which is idling in the middle of the map. He does have a good vision on Tarson's Bion's army, but I'm a bit surprised that he never decided to take a sneak peek in Tarson's main base.
Yeah, I'm kind of curious myself. That observer, I guess he just wants to keep track of that army. If he walks over to the base of Tarson, he's gonna lose track of that force for a little while, and he won't know if he needs to quickly prepare for some sort of big attack. First Colossus is about 75% complete. Thermal Lance also about halfway done. And Tarson looks like he's got his first couple of medevacs out, and with that, I feel like he might be getting a little bit aggressive. Yeah,
I might just try to poke a little bit at the front. I don't think he tries to go for a full-up attack, though. Nevertheless, I love Naniwa's having a couple of Stalks in the back as well, just in case. He doesn't have that much vision right now. Once again, it's just this lonely observer. He's going to try to intercept perhaps a medevac here and there, and making sure there is no 3rd command center as of yet.
Oh yeah, and the first Colossus is finally out. All of Naniwa's Stalkers are back in his main, just making sure that no drop catches him off guard. Tarson just kind of dancing around the center of the map. Both these guys, or I guess I should say neither of these guys really look like they want to get too aggressive here. They're just feeling each other out and setting up for the big late macro game.
Yeah, I really think Nani is actually going to do something anytime soon. If we take a look at the income tab, we see 49 probes, or actually 51 right now, because he just produced 2, against 49 SFVs. That's something that shouldn't be like that. I mean, if Nani would have been constantly producing probes, he would have been way further ahead, which is only normal, because of course that gets compensated by the mules. But this is actually quite a safe situation for Tarson right now. But of course, most likely Naniwa is going to try to do something anytime soon. We actually see the Ghost Academy going up already. That might be a little too funky from 2 base, because he's going to need quite a few Vikings as well if he wants to deal successfully with these Colossi, unless he can get his Marauders in an excellent position. But look at this amount of energy saved up on these sentries.
Oh yeah, he's got a lot of force field there. Also, Naniwa getting Blink before charge. Why would he do that?
It's actually, well, perhaps to snipe off Vikings, perhaps to intercept a drop. I mean, Blink is a lot better against drops than Charge is. Of course, Charge is better in the straight-up fight, but yeah, I wouldn't necessarily disagree with that choice.
Okay, cool. So, also +2 armor finishing up here for Naniwa. Well, I guess I say finishing up. It's about halfway done. And
this is a strange game by Naniwa right now.
I agree. We a little bit of a drop also materializing up here at the top there, Roddy.
A little bit of a drop, actually 7 Marauders and 2 Marines, so that's quite a bit of a drop. But we have a lot of Stalkers right now, and actually look at Blink. Blink is almost done. If Nani is going to keep his Stalker over here, and actually Tarson would unload his units, and Naniwa would Blink right in. Meanwhile, minor engagement near the Selnaga Watchtower. This could go very bad for Tarson.
Oh, a nice force field. Tarson's going to disengage.